Hey there.
Toodaloo!
We're going to PF Chang's today.
La, la.
Did you know it's America's #1 Asian bistro?
Let's just all admit it. None of us know what bistro means. A small, relatively simple restaurant. Okay, erase what we just said. We're gonna start referring to it as America's #1 Asian restaurant. We aren't gonna say bistro.
I mean, honestly, that definition doesn't match PF Chang's. PF Chang's is not simple nor small. They have like actual statues on the outside and the inside is so opulent. This actually isn't the right word for it. Who picked that?
Wait, you're right. Actually, though.
Those big statues out front, that isn't simple at all.
What are some other national Asian restaurant chains? You could say Panda Express, but that doesn't count because it's not technically a restaurant.
More of a Subway type place. Other than that, isn't that it?
Nothing else comes to mind.
I mean, there's regional chains.
I haven't thoroughly conducted research, but I'm gonna say that they are not lying. It's a fact. They are the #1. PF Chang's was invented in 1993 by Paul Fleming and Philip Chang.
Wait, what's Philip's middle name? Because PF Chang's. Oh, it's Fleming's because he's the other creator.
So Paul Fleming, PF, and then Chang is for the Philip's last name. But they actually changed the spelling of Chang. Probably because they thought people wouldn't know how to pronounce it if it had an I in it. I'm just gonna assume.
They make it more simple for the consumer.
PF Chang's is now in China. When it's in China, they actually advertise it as American cuisine. Mind blown, right? What?
I feel like that's a troll. Like they know it's Asian food, but they're saying it's American food to kind of throw shade at PF Chang's maybe? This is authentic Asian food.
It's not. Because it's in Shanghai, China, and it's being referred to as American food. So, yeah.
I don't believe them.
Life is just fake, basically, is what I'm realizing. Going to PF Chang's always feels like you're traveling overseas.
Yeah, I've always appreciated how excessive it all feels and grandiose. It's always dimly lit in there. They always have the shades drawn. Also, there's so many booths lining every wall, which kind of seems upper class. I asked for a booth too.
Then the hostess said, are you guys okay with a half booth? And Lucas said, yes.
Now that's the thing. She gave me the choice, but I knew we didn't have any power in where we were gonna sit. She was trying to make us feel like we were in control, but we weren't.
Oh, because if we would have said we want a full booth, she would have said that section of the restaurant is closed.
Yeah, so I didn't want to face that rejection. So I accepted her request of a half booth. The menu has many options, but it isn't overwhelming like the Cheesecake Factory. It's very doable, but it's not so small that you're mad. It's like describing a woman's breast implants being like, those are the perfect size, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I get that reference. Looking at the menu kind of got me all spiraled up. Randomly, there was a lot of energy going through my veins, so I had to go to the bathroom and let all that energy out. It was a nice bathroom, and the bathroom was also red.
And look at that gold countertop.
It's a bathroom that I felt comfortable using. I feel comfortable using about any bathroom, but
Especially this one.
me and Lucas were going to live the dream at PF Chang, so of course we had to start out with appetizers.
Appetizers.
For the first appetizer, we got the most iconic item on all of the PF Chang's menu, and I'm pretty sure it's their #1 most sold item, Chang's lettuce wrap.
With chicken. If you haven't heard about these, just know you're out of the loop. These are worldwide famous.
Yes, I've been to PF Chang's a handful of times, and I knew they were worldwide famous because every time I went with people in our family, they made it a moment. They would always say, okay, you need to get 2 or 3 Chang's lettuce wraps for the table. It was always kind of one of the reasons why we were stressed going to PF Chang's. Is there enough for everyone? What's happening?
I have such bad memories associated with these because you fill one up, you're so excited, but as you're eating it and you're seeing everyone else dig into it, you're realizing this is going to be my only wrap I'm even going to be able to effing have because everyone's eating them so fast and I'm not going to rush mine to try to get a second one. So it was nice just going with one other person where we both knew we'd be able to get a few without any sort of struggle.
Yeah. Me and Lucas both noticed that they changed the lettuce they use. It used to be more of this lighter see-through lettuce.
Yeah,
but
iceberg.
yeah, well, they started using actual lettuce that's like actually from the ground.
Yeah, it was green, very like vibrantly green.
It just felt so real. Whereas like previously when I had these, it felt like more of a McDonald's moment.
Yeah, you felt like you were getting more vitamins.
Basically, it's chicken with like, okay, I don't even know if this is in it, but I'm just gonna say it. Jicama, I think, is in it. Peanuts.
Maybe some sort of like mushroom flavor, because I tasted this like umami flavor.
Umami mommy.
They also have those iconic little Funyun things in them.
Oh my gosh, people always hype those up in our family.
What are they?
I don't know, but there's been times where we're at PF Chang's with our mom, and she like grabs all of those off the top. My opinion on the number one item at PF Chang's is yes, it's delicious, and I totally understand the hype. But I do have to say there is a little slice of my mind that believes it's just a gimmick. I think people just loved the idea of chicken with all these vegetables going in a lettuce wrap. It just felt fun because when else do you have a lettuce wrap? So I do like it, but I also do think it's kind of a gimmicky thing that people are just obsessed with it because it feels different.
Yeah, but I do gotta say, it is the perfect appetizer because of the lettuce. Like if it was actual tortillas, you might fill up too much and it would ruin your entree, but you get some kick with this. You get a bite into some things, but it doesn't necessarily fill you up too much, which is great. That's what we want from an appetizer.
I would assume that the waitress took the plate and just added it into the clean pile.
Oh yeah, there was no need to wash that plate up when we were done with it.
As you've probably noticed, there's two of us. We are not one person. We're two separate beings. Each of us got to pick an appetizer. Lucas picked the dynamite roll. I actually just made that all up. Didn't I pick both the appetizers?
Yeah.
It was more of a dictatorship moment at this restaurant, I guess.
Usually I would just get the dynamite shrimp on their own as an appetizer, but Jacob wanted to get something a little bit funky, so we got it on shrimp. I mean, we got it on sushi, I mean. And it was good. The dynamite shrimp at PF Chang's always hits. But the sushi tasted a little bit like it was from a grocery store. The only reason I'm saying that is because the rice was very cold. Like, you know, when you go to you get sushi from a grocery store and it's all been in the fridge, so the rice is obviously cold. That was the same with this rice, and it made me think, like, do they pre-make all these rolls in the morning and put them in the fridge, maybe?
This roll was like $15, but it should have costed like $6 because it just felt frozen. Even the crab inside of the roll just felt like it had been sitting inside the roll for days on end, waiting to escape.
I still wanted to eat every piece. Like, it wasn't horrible. It was just, I was kind of confused. I was like, oh, this is like a really good grocery store roll.
Only thing that was saving it was the dynamite shrimp. If the dynamite shrimp wasn't atop the sushi, I probably would have been balls to the wow mad.
Do you remember that one time we ate at PF Chang's and there was a table next to us where they kept talking about how they were going to throw up from eating too much?
That's actually a good sign for a restaurant if you overhear people talking about that, because it's like the food's that good that they're over consuming it so much that they're about to puke. It must be good.
Soup girls, girls who eat soup. Soup girls, girls that eat soup.
As I've lived life, I've noticed that all of the sexiest people consume soup at dinner, so I thought it was a good idea to get soup before our main entrees. I ordered soup. They brought it to me a minute later because it's probably just sitting in a pot all week. Lucas saw my soup, then he waved at the waitress and got his own bowl.
Let me tell you guys what actually happened. Jacob said, we're only gonna get one thing of soup. He said, we'll share it. But then he got the soup and said, actually, I'm just gonna eat it all. But then all of a sudden he said, I guess you can get your own soup.
Whoa. I hope that drama didn't make you and Jacob hate each other.
The hot and sour soup is so immaculate.
It was probably a few years ago you let me in on like how you love this soup, and I got a bowl of it, and yes, I do like it. I don't mind it. Like, I always love a soup moment because it makes me feel all cozy and warm, and it was frigid outside the day we went to PF Chang's. I don't understand why you adore it so much.
I think it's because it's syrupy, but it's not syrupy in the way you think. It's a sour syrup. I told Jacob this while I was eating it. It tastes and smells like bad breath. And somehow that makes it so amazing. Like, it's just gross, but it's so good. There's all these stringy things in it. Like, you're biting into this gross tofu. It's all this bouncy stuff.
It has chicken and tofu.
I just love it. We both finished ours completely.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to say how I love the spoon they give you.
Entrees. is.
Lucas pointed out that on the entree menu it said made for sharing or something. So we decided that we're gonna share both of our entrees. Why not?
And I've actually only ever ordered the exact same entree from P.F. Chang's, the sesame chicken. I know what I like and I stick to it. So yeah, I got the sesame chicken, and usually I would get it with white rice, but this time I got it with lo mein because I wanted to see what restaurant quality lo mein was like. Is it going to be the same as takeout?
We actually ate the meal that I picked out first. It was the Kung Pao beef with white rice. Lucas was getting chicken, so we were like, let's get something beefy that's spicy to see if it's actually spicy or if it's more of a little kid type spice.
Because it even had a little pepper next to the name to warn all these silly people who are so scared of spice.
This looked like it was popping though. Peanuts, celery, a bunch of beef.
It was kind of fancy beef. Like, you know when you go to Korean barbecue places and they give you those slabs of beef? It was that type of beef.
Something that I was wondering the entire time while munching down was the beef breaded or was it just that fatty that it tasted like it was breaded?
I was just going to say that it was so interesting how it was deep fat fried beef because you never see beef like that, but it had something around it. Maybe it was just so fatty and sauced up.
And to answer the spice question, it just is the typical little kid spice. Like sometimes when I order something spicy, I actually want it to be spicy. And this didn't live up to that, but I was fine with it though.
I actually don't even think it had a little bit of spice, but we didn't even eat the peppers. The meat itself should have the spice if it's spicy.
Okay, this is the thing. When these restaurants have like peppers within it, I feel like they should cut it up and put it in the meal so then it actually disperses. Whereas if there's just a pepper there, I'm not just gonna eat a whole pepper because then I'm gonna I don't know, maybe I'm the problem, but I'm just gonna say the chefs are the problem. This is something I could see myself getting again.
I know, same. No, actually, I'm kidding. I'll always get the sesame chicken. But it was really tasty. It was so gummy. Like, I still thought it was so easy to eat.
It was kind of transformative eating it because I just kept picturing our dad because this is something our dad would order. So it kind of felt like part of an evolution journey in a weird way.
We're evolving to become our dad. I'm kidding.
Now we're moving on to Lucas's queen meal.
Oh, the sesame chicken. So I loaded up some lo mein as a bed for the sesame chicken. And the sesame chicken obviously slapped right up like it always does. It always works. It didn't hit as hard as it could have because it did sit for 5 minutes or maybe even 8 minutes. We took our time with the Kung Pao beef. So it was a little bit lukewarm. But the lo mein, yeah, it's nothing better than takeout lo mein. I thought it was going to be better or something, but it was just sloppy lo mein. Like, whenever I eat this type of lo mein, it just says, yeah, sloppy. I feel like I should be wearing pajama pants. It's sloppy.
Yeah, this, I hate the word sloppy. The lo mein just wasn't good. With that being said, I actually would eat the whole plate if I was hungry, of course, but it just wasn't anything to write in my journal about before I go to bed.
Call me plain Jane Polly, but I prefer the white rice.
I've had the sesame chicken before and it always slaps. One of the reasons why I love it more than every other sesame chicken is because it's not so deep fried and breaded. When you go to Panda Express and some of these other Chinese restaurants and takeout places, sometimes it's so breaded and stuff where it's 75% bread and 25% chicken. Whereas this is actually the opposite. 75% chicken and 25% bread. Which is the equation that I'm looking for in my sesame chickens.
It also has broccoli and onions and stuff, so you're also getting some very healthy veg. It is bossed up.
We were obviously hungry because how is everything at the table? Okay, I guess the lo mein isn't empty, but all of the important stuff is empty.
Yeah, why was the lo mein so dry? Because I remember at this point, I was doing a little swirls in the lo mein because I was like, oh, let me actually eat this. And it was just so dry. I was like, what is this? Like trying to slurp it. And it actually wasn't lubed up enough to even be slurped. It was so dry, I simply couldn't suck it up. Like,
that sucks. Then the waitress came to our table and said, are you boys looking for dessert? Yes, ma'am, we are. And she said the chocolate souffle would be good, so we ordered that. I actually made that up. We just ordered it. But you know, same thing.
They did have a great wall of chocolate, which I love the name and the whole theme, but I didn't want chocolate cake. Great Wall of Depression.
This chocolate souffle was also bossed up. It was the CFO. It wasn't the CEO. It was more given the CFO. This brownie thing was like, oh, so what? But then Lucas said he didn't like it, so I did like it, but then we can let Lucas talk now.
I'm not even going to talk about taste. Just do a replay when you cut into it. Wait, how come it was way more intense in real life? That just proves you can't capture everything on film.
Yeah, because in real life, it like squirted in our face and stuff.
Yeah, it was insane. I obviously loved the ice cream because it was just vanilla ice cream, but the chocolate, like, it was just so gross. Like, I think it was because it was so dark chocolatey. Like, it actually was just so gross. And then with the cherry, I remember when I mixed the cherry with it, I was actually wanting to throw up.
Thankfully, the waitress brought us some fortune cookies. An important meeting is in the near future. This is a very vague fortune, I feel like.
I guess you would hope it's true. Hopefully at some point in the future there's going to be an important meeting, you know?
But it says in the near future. I would say that near means at least in the next 6 months, which I mean 6 months is a long time, so.
Ooh. Mine is you will be recognized and honored as a community leader. And immediately I knew it was going to be for the LGBT. I am the leader of the LGBT. And I just want to say thank you guys for all following it.
So the bill came and it got up to $110 because Lucas got the soup. It would have been like $100 flat if you wouldn't have got the soup.
Baby, I'm worth it.
We were like stuffed animals walking out of that restaurant.
All of the night following this, I did feel a little bit gross.
I would say that it's America's #1 Asian bistro, even though I haven't been to that many Asian bistros.
I would for sure say it is. #1 as in most popular. But I know we could find somewhere that tastes way better, obviously, but...
Anyways, we're gonna go. Bye.
See you next time.